Yeah. I was asked to, I guess, someone asked me I guess, how do you become fast as a fast guitar player? I guess how to shred and stuff. I'm mainly a legato player, so that means hammer-ons, pull-offs, So hammer-ons is like, right, because my fingers are hammering the notes. Picking. I'm not picking every individual note. I'm just strumming it once and hammering on three notes at the same time. So, right? So those are hammer-ons, right? So pull-offs are the opposite. So instead of hammering on, it's hammering on, right? I also pull off. So right? So I guess I'll give you an exercise that helps me out. I guess I'll give you like two or three. So one of them, something easy, I guess, to start off with. Let's say if you know about scales, Aeolian or natural minor is like the first one I learned on. So you wanna, let's say, okay, the second string, so the B string, the E string, right? And by the way, I'm in a different tuning. I'm in D standard, so I'm gonna be talking as if you're in standard tuning, because majority of the people are in standard tuning, right? So let's say your first finger on the 7th fret on the B string, your middle finger on the 8th fret on the B string, and your pinky finger on the 10th fret on the B string, right? So on the same string. So 7, 8, 10, right? So just do that. So like I said, you're picking it once. Your string, you're picking it one time. And letting the other, your three fingers do the work. So right? So do the same thing, like 7, 8, and 10, but on the E string as well. Same frets, but just a string higher. And just work your way steadily up. That's just hammer on. So do both strings, so B string, E string. But you want to be clear, so right? That's just hammer-ons, like I said. You want to do the same thing but with pull-offs, right? So instead of, so starting on the 10th fret on the E string, right? So let's just do the E string for right now for pull-offs, right? So like you have 7, 8, 10 on the E string, right? So instead of hammering on, you're pulling off. So you're starting on the 10th string. So you have, the 7, 8, 10, right? And just the same thing. Pluck it once and let your other fingers do the work. Your pinky, your middle, and your index, right? So, you see that? 10, 8, 7. 10, 8, 7. 10, 8, 7. And see, my index finger is not going anywhere. It's staying stationary at the 7th fret, right? So 10, 8, 7. 10, 8, 7. And then just make, just speed up a little bit when you feel more comfortable. So when you start off slow, you're going to be like this. You see, you don't even have to pluck it. You see my finger. See, I'm just. But see, I'm hammering on there. So hammer on, 8, 7. 10, 8, 7. So I'm using both techniques there. So hammer on, 8, 7, hammer on, 8, 7, right? Okay, so again, 7, 8, 10 on the B string and the E string, hammer on, right? So now you do pull offs, it's going to be like 10, 8, 7, right? It's the same frets on the B string and the E string. So hammer on, pull off, right? And so when you get fast, you know, you use both. So you know what I mean? So I guess it's more like a rolling feeling, you know what I mean? Like you're kind of like rolling it, like, you know what I mean? Like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Another I guess lick that's a little easier than that. You know, if you know the pentatonic scale, you don't really need to know the pentatonic scale, but if you do, you know, like I forgot which pen, but let's say, you know, same thing, B string and E string, right? So we're just going to use 2 fingers. How about that? We're just going to use 2 fingers instead of 3 fingers. Maybe that'll be easier. So B string, right? 10th fret and 12th fret. Easy enough, right? 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, hammer on, right? 10, 12. The same thing with the E string. 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, right? So just hammer on both strings, like 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12, 10, 12. That's just hammer-ons. So now we're going to add pull-offs, right? Same thing, 10 and 12th fret on the B string and the E string. You know what I mean? So look at my picking hand and look at my fret hand. You know what I mean? So I'll do it hammer on and hammer ons and pull offs. You know what I mean? So like if you want to, maybe this will help a better visual, but I'm not even gonna use the pick. So but you know the pick adds, you know, the attack, so it makes it louder, right? But like, you know, without it, you just, or you know, also you want to just hold your finger down like this on the B and the E string. Actually, no, don't do that, But like, you know what I mean? Like just like, you know. You know, and if you know the pentatonic scale, you can use that lick on, you know, the scale on the any part of the scale on the B and E string, right? So let's say you want to go up to the next pattern, so what I just showed you, right? Then you go up to the next pattern. It's the same thing. It's just like instead of like 10, 12, you know, you go up the pattern, so it's 12 and 15. And then, like I said, we're just using the B and the E string for right now. But you know, once you get, you know, comfortable with just those 2 strings, you know, or the other pattern I showed you, the 7, 8, 10. You know, let's see what else. So like, you know, yeah, once you know, get comfortable with the 2, or you can do the 2, you know, 2 strings at the bottom, you know, So if you want to do a pentatonic, you know, on I forgot which pattern, pattern 1, pattern 2. I don't know, but let's say, you know, you want to do the 2 bottom strings. You know, so like let's say you want to do the 7th fret and the 10th fret, right? 7th fret and 10th fret on the low E string, and the 7th fret and the 10th fret on the A string, so the string above, you know, the E string. So same thing, you know. That's hammer-ons, right? And then we're gonna add pull-offs. So hammer-on, pull-offs. Or like, you know, like I said, that pattern I showed you up here, you can do the same thing, 10-12, and 10-12 on the low E string and the A string. Know what I mean? So I guess, you know, when you get comfortable with the 2 strings, like just keep going up with it. So let's say okay, let's say okay, so let's say like, it's like, you know, 5, let's say on the 5th fret and the 7th fret, right? Kind of like the same pattern. Just go up with it with 1 more string. You know what I mean? So I guess I do add a slide too. So like if I'm going up, you know, you don't have to. I'm just saying, like, you know, at least get that part right. You know, like I said, like just like, you know, your index finger and your ring finger. It doesn't even have to be like a certain pattern. Just, you know, pick any fret, I guess, you know. You can do it here. Just do it. Let's do the 7th fret right here. So, and the 7th fret and the 8th fret. No, 9th fret. I'm sorry. 7th fret and 9th fret, you know. So I guess you don't even have to do like a scale. You know, the scales are just for the notes to sound good together. If you just want to practice, you know, the legato. Legato means flow. That's why, you know, I don't alternate pick everything. So, you know, alternate picking is like, you know, I guess I can do it, but I'm not that great. I just don't like the sound of it. You know, like when you use a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs, it sounds more like a flow. Legato means flow, right? So you know what I mean? So, see, like, look, no pick. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's all, you know, hammer-ons and pull-offs again. You know, hammer-on, pull off. They're just mixed together. You know. Like I said, like, I don't know, like if you do it with like the patterns of a scale, like I said, I started off with the Aeolian or natural minor scale. You know, just do that movement or that technique on the pattern or on the scale on any pattern, and I don't know, you should catch on to it, you know. So, you know, if you want to just practice with your first 2 fingers, you know, just, you know, you can also do like, you know, 4 and 5 on any string, really, like 4 and 5 on the E string and 4 and 5 on the A string. So hammer on, right? Let's do pull-offs with it. So, but yeah, like that. I hope that answers your question about shredding or how do I play fast. I hope this helps. I've never given a lesson before, so I'm hoping this clarifies that portion of how I play, at least when it comes to soloing and stuff, or at least how to like play legato fast. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.